Hey y'all, so it's Allie, and I'm really sorry that I didn't post any Jackie videos the last couple weeks. I've got all kinds of footage and I will put it in as I'm talking about it in this video, but we've just had so much going on in the last 2 weeks, and also a lot of the same stuff going on in the last 2 weeks, that we were either like really busy doing something weird, or the footage that I got of him, I mean, how many hours of footage do you need to see of this adorable dog eating sticks in my backyard? So I got Jackie to calm down enough today to let me do some drawing with Posca pens, which I haven't really done in a couple weeks. This is how I usually draw. I just have a sketchbook. I'm not really painting on canvas or anything like that. And it's just kind of an opportunity for me to kind of loosen up and play around a little bit with these art supplies that I like. So the week before last was crazy, but it was fun. Chris and I spent the weekend cleaning house and cleaning out the backyard. He cleaned the gutters and I swept the deck, which was a huge undertaking because of all of these gigantic tulip poplar trees we had growing over the deck and the roof of the house. The trees, they're beautiful, but they just shit on the house all year long. And from that happening, all of that stuff that the poplar trees drops on the deck has caused the deck to rot. So unfortunately, the trees had to come down. It was a whole thing. These guys came over. I mean, they basically took over the neighborhood. And they had this huge crane that they put in the neighbor's backyard behind us. A guy in a cherry picker would cut a part of the tree, and then they would use the crane to lift the part of the tree that had just been cut over the roof of our house into the street in front of our house where it was wood chipped in a truck. So they basically took over our neighbor behind us backyard, our whole yard, and the yard of the people who live across the street from us. So it was a big old mess. But we had a party on Wednesday because it was Father's Day, and then it was my mom's birthday, and then it was Annie's birthday. And Annie usually throws herself a birthday party, like a birthday solstice party. And she was not in the mood to throw herself a party this summer. And I was like, well, then let me do it, because that is sad. So we had the family over on Wednesday in the afternoon, which worked out great because we're all either teachers with summer hours right now, or we are retired. So it was nice to do a thing in the middle of the week because we really don't get together, like all of us together, enough. And it also meant I got to show off the new bathroom and the upstairs that we had remodeled. And since we were gonna have people over, that also made us kind of finish up some projects up there around the house that we, started and then stalled out on. So it felt like a really good week. Jackie Daytona was an absolute angel. He got to meet everybody in the family. He loved Jocelyn. He was like obsessed with Jocelyn. Yeah, I think everybody had a really good time at the Father's Day birthday party. I did have a little diva moment after the trees were gone. The night before the party, we were looking out in the backyard and it looked so different without these like 30-foot trees. And Chris was like, the squirrels are freaking out, they don't know where to go. And I just kind of burst into tears because I was like, I like watching the squirrels and the birds in our yard enjoy these big trees that we have. And Chris was like, were you feeling anxious about the birds and the squirrels before we cut the trees down? And I'm like, yeah, but they've got to go. Like, they're just in the wrong place. You just can't have like trees hanging over your house and ruining stuff. So it was a bummer, but whatever. So last week, Chris started Operation Ivy Extraction. We've had all this English ivy in raised flower beds the whole time we've lived here. This was not our choice. Then I spent the whole week watching YouTube last week. That's not true. Jackie and I started walking every morning to try to work through his demons. Otherwise, he is so obnoxious. Chris and I can't like sit and have coffee and eat breakfast in the morning. So we do a couple of laps after Jackie's breakfast, and he is getting better at walking, but it's not all there yet. But yeah, I was lazy as hell in every other way last week. I didn't edit a Jackie Daytona dog vlog last week. I dumped all the footage from the week before in iMovie on Monday and then just didn't feel like editing. You know how it is. So here is some beautiful bean footage of Jackie Daytona hanging out doing his thing. As you can see here, I am just wrapping up this drawing that I did. I really like to just slap something down and be really fluid and fun with it in one color, and then kind of go over it with another color and carve out something that's maybe a little bit more proportionally appropriate. But my sketchbook is not really intended to be this beautiful work of art like you see on a lot of social media. It's really just kind of a place to play. More often than not, I'm just doodling with Posca pens, and sometimes something cool comes out and I like it enough to sit and kind of refine it and add extra details. And then other times it's just scribbling and bibbling, and that is fine. Next week, Jackie and I go back to the vet for his last round of vaccines. They saw him Monday 2 weeks ago and said that he was perfect in every way. We just have to go back and get our last vaccines on Monday. If you enjoyed this, let me know, and maybe I'll do more drawing videos in the future. I hope you are having a lovely day. In the meantime, be excellent to each other and party on, dudes.